everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing a major art haul with you guys. Now, before I get started, I do want to give my usual little disclaimer that I've been away for a little while. Some of this stuff I probably got over Christmas. Some of this stuff was a gift from my lovely boyfriend, who I love very much. Not that anybody cares about that but me. And I've just accumulated some of these things over the last couple months. So I didn't get it like all at one time, but I suppose I did kind of get the bulk majority of it in a very small, condensed little period of time there. And I guess I'm a little spoiled, so I'm feeling a little guilty, but I do want to share my art haul with you guys. So, like I said, some of this stuff is going to be pastel, some of this stuff's going to be watercolor, acrylics, painting supplies. I've got a nice assortment of things, because if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that I work in pretty much every medium there is. I love getting my hands on all different supplies, so without further ado, let's launch right into it. The very first item that I wanted to show is these. Oh my gosh, I was so excited to get these. These are from the Mount Vision Pastel Company, which are my favorite pastels in all of the world. Can you tell how excited I am for these? I got the iridescent pastels. Now, I already did a full review on my channel on the Mount Vision pastels, so I'll link them up if you guys are interested. I also did a review and demonstration on the Thunderstorm Gray set, which I got later as sort of its own separate video, and I'd like to do my own separate video review on these in particular as well. So I've got the iridescent set of 15 and then the iridescent dark set of 5. And at this point, I pretty much have all the colors in Mount Vision's range at this point. I've got a huge collection of them. So I wanted to open up and show. This set is gorgeous. This is the dark set of 5, and I'll do some close-ups because I want to make sure you guys can really see it. These are so sparkly and gorgeous. I love these because I feel like the set of 5, the darks, is somewhat unique in that it's different from what other companies are offering. I don't think other companies have that somewhat darker, more muted selection, so that was really nice to see. And if you watched my last haul video, you would have already saw that I got the Schmincke iridescence and metallic colors, and I did a swatch side by side with these to those, and there's no overlap. So that I was very pleased with. And you guys know I love things that are iridescent, sparkly, metallic, pearlescent. I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff. So here are the dark ones. All right, so I wanted to kind of zoom you down in here for these. So these are gorgeous. You've got a couple neutrals, but for the most part, you've got some brights and pastel colors. And really, there is absolutely no overlap between the darks and the main set. And you have space here. You can pop these out and pop these in if you want to complete your set that way and not have them separate. So that's really great. I will be doing a full video on these. I'll also be swatching them all out for you in that video, and I'll be doing some comparisons to other pearlescent and iridescent pastels, so be sure to stick around for that. But I will say one thing right off the bat. The purples are incredible, and I've never found a pearlescent or an iridescent red in anything, probably. Even in gel pens, it's really hard to find like a pearlescent or metallic red. So these are gorgeous. The sparkle is gorgeous. They're more beautiful in person, and I'm so happy with them. I love them. Love them! All right, so moving right along and keeping on theme with the iridescent kind of metallic sparkly things, I picked up the Golden Interference paints. Now the Golden Interference paints are available in both the fluid line and the heavy body line. For my purposes, I wanted to get them in the fluid line because I felt like they would just be more versatile in that I knew I wanted to create thin veils of color and glazes with them, and so I wouldn't have to thin them down like you would with a heavy body paint, or I could mix them in with the heavy body paint. So it was just more versatile, and it made more sense to me to get them in the fluid line. But whatever line you get them in, the thing that's really special about these is that they don't only supply that very thin sparkle, that kind of metallic sheen, but here they are on black. When you move them in the light, or depending on what color you put them over, they invert their color. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that on the black strip, but I have them on white as well here. And see that? I think the camera picked it up. The red, the violet, the blue, the green, the gold. Watch as I flip it. See that? See how they invert the color, and you'll see its opposite color. Like green now becomes red. Violet almost becomes green, so that's a little bit off. Blue becomes a warm yellow, kind of going toward orange, so it's not perfect, but they definitely invert their color. So that is cool. That is so cool. You guys, I am going to be sure to do a full review on these in the future. I also got Iridescent Gold Deep, which is not an interference paint, but the Iridescent Gold Deep from Golden is my favorite acrylic gold that any brand makes. It's special. It's special because it's got just a little bit of red maybe in it, but it's so... there's just a depth and a dimension to it that's really beautiful and lovely. So I got that in the 4-ounce bottle because I knew I'd be using a decent amount of it. And I prefer metallics and iridescents to be in a more thin fluid formula, because when you have a heavy body version of that, you tend to get more streaks. So that's why I picked it up. But they are so beautiful. I love them. I love them. And I'm so happy that I picked them up. In that fluid range, I also picked up Chromium Oxide Green, and I got it in the tube paint as well. I was introduced to Chromium Oxide Green in acrylics recently when I picked up the Golden Open line, and I love it. I love Chromium Oxide Green, and whenever I pick up a new color in the heavy body, I always pick it up in the fluid version as well. And I tell you why, because I really should do a full review on the golden fluids soon, because they are so incredible. A tiny little drop goes such a long way, and they're so great for fine details and hairs and things like that, because they just glide right off the brush. They are just incredible for that. And then the heavy body is of course great for everything else. So I like to have a pairing. I like to have it in both formats whenever possible. Going along with the golden acrylics, I picked up some really large tubes here of a few colors that I was out of. Let me zoom you in. So I picked up golden sap green in a large tube because I love their sap green hue for mixing my own chromatic blacks and browns and darks. I think it's a color that I like for mixing quite a bit, and I tend to go through a lot of it because it doesn't have a very high tinting strength. So I was running out of my smaller 2-ounce tube, so I picked it up in the 5-ounce tube. My boyfriend actually bought this one for me, and I went through a lot of it when I was doing a recent painting. I also picked up ultramarine blue because I'm running super duper low on ultramarine blue. I use it in every single painting. I've got just this little bit left of my Matisse, and I love the Matisse ultramarine blue, but you can't go wrong with golden, so I decided I was going to repurchase it in goldens this time. Titanium white, you can never have enough titanium white, and I go through it obviously like most artists quite a bit. But I will say one thing, their titanium white is the only acrylic white that I will buy, because with other brands I've really noticed this, particularly with Liquitex Heavy Body. It is like cottage cheese in there, man. Let me show you. It's like, I can't even get it out of the tube. It's so thick. And I had that issue a few times with Matisse as well. So now I only buy Golden's Titanium White. I feel like theirs is, it's a cut above the rest. I picked up yellow oxide. I prefer yellow oxide PY42 to traditional yellow ochre in acrylics because like the real yellow ochre is a bit too transparent for me, and I think it's just a little too dirty of a color. I prefer yellow oxide. And then I got Golden's Burnt Sienna, which I remember in one of my last videos I picked up Matisse's Burnt Sienna. I raved about it. I told you guys it's my favorite. It's the most fiery, and it is, and I love it. But it's I also really like golden. So I like having the option because goldens is a little more red and a little bit more opaque. Now, one thing I will point out, notice how smooth and in high quality these tubes are that came from Dick Blick. Can you spot the difference right away? This one I got from Michaels. I mean, it's the only one that came from Michaels, and I don't know about y'all, but leave a comment in the comment section. Are your paint tubes at Michaels always looking like this too? Because every single one, every time I go in there, looks beat up like that. So I just wanted to make mention of that. And then from Matisse, I picked up their Australian Sap Green in the fluid. Matisse's Sap Green, Australian Sap Green, is my favorite acrylic sap green. I know I picked up the big one from Golden theirs, but you see how dark that is and very transparent. Matisse's is gorgeous. It is really, really lively and beautiful, and I wanted to have a more fluid version on hand. Sort of like the same concept to the Golden fluids, of course, but 4.5 fluid ounces is the smallest bottle you can buy in these. I did not need it this large. And if it had, I wish they'd make them available in these smaller, like 1 ounce bottles, because if they did, I would have picked that up for sure. I didn't need this much. But what can you do? That's what was available. So yeah, I'm really happy with the golden paints. I picked them up in some really common, you know, workhorse colors, and I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of them. I go through these colors really the quickest of any other colors. Going along with the acrylic paint theme, I also bought some brushes. Now, I've got an assortment of new brushes here. Some I've tried already, some I haven't. So we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the ones I have tried first. These are new to Jerry's Artarama, these line. This is the Muscle Brush. And oh boy, do I love these. These are a real winner. So I picked up the 2-inch flat with the long handle, and I picked up the 3-inch in the paddle style. I kind of wish I'd got the 2-inch in the paddle style as well. This is kind of, I mean, it is very, very long. It's a little bit too long. What I like about these is that, as the name Muscle Brush would imply, they are not too thin and floppy. If you're working with a heavy body paint or gesso, you're going to be able to really move and manipulate that paint around. A very common problem that I find often with larger brushes, and this one has that problem, is they're just so soft and floppy that they're not able to move or manipulate the heavy body paint, and they're really not very useful. Although this one, which is from the Master's Touch, is a 2-inch, I like for varnish. And of course, if you were a watercolorist, a brush like this might be good as like a mop brush or just a wash brush to wet your paper. Though I would prefer like a Creative Mark Mimic Squirrel or something like that instead of this. But this works well for varnish. I'm not complaining about it, but I will say these are so much better. The 3-inch flat, the paddle, is probably my favorite, but I also really love this 2-inch. This just covers the canvas so quickly and applies the gesso so smoothly. These are my preferred gesso brushes now, and I love them. I also like that the paddle has this little hole in it so you can put it on a ring. If you have like a, for example, I have these Liquitex knives on a ring, so I could put that right on there if I wanted to. So it makes storage in your studio much easier. These are from the brand Artist Loft. They come from Michaels. These were not expensive at all, and I didn't have super high hopes for these, but I have to tell you, these are the Sorrento brushes. I really like these. They're actually for oil paints, but I used them for acrylics over the weekend, last weekend. I have to tell you, they really have a nice paint capacity. Like, they hold a decent amount of paint, a decent amount of water, and I actually was pretty impressed with these. I beat this one up pretty good, and it still maintained its point really nicely, and it cleaned up real well. So I would buy more of these. These are actually really nice brushes and a great value. I think these are only $3.99 or $4.99, something like that. Simply Simmons Extra Firm Bright in the size 10. I know another artist on YouTube that refers to this brush as the Goldilocks brush, and it really is a great brush. I loved the Extra Firms, and I had like a full line of these at one time, and then I had used them for oil paints, and I'd gotten rid of my oil paints. I stopped painting in oils, and I give the brushes away with them because you can't use them again for anything else after they've been used for oils. So I wanted this one back because it really is a great workhorse brush and I'll get a lot of use out of it. To compare the Muscle brush, by the way, because I think this is a fair comparison, the Muscle brush is not as firm or stiff as an extra firm Simply Simmons. So to give you a range, it's definitely a lot firmer than a traditional Simply Simmons, but not this firm. It's not as extra firm. So we're in the middle. So it's a nice happy medium. And I think you're going to love these if you wanted to give these a try. So there, I'm just going to go ahead and insert my review right now on these. These are excellent. These are a steal. Buy these. But I will say one thing that was a negative. When I washed these, some of the ink or the dye that was used for the black bristles did come out. So wash them first is what I'm telling you. Don't go right in with white paint or white gesso because it will tint your paint if you don't wash them first. But cleaned up nice. I got no complaints. And I picked up some ruby satin silver brushes in the new triangle shapes. I got the extra small and I got the medium. I love ruby satin silver brushes. I've got a whole big cup of them. I probably have nearly the line at this point, and I use them every time I paint in acrylics. They are my favorite. I love them. I also love them for gouache. And so these new triangle brushes, I didn't even get a chance to pop into these yet. I'm going to open the large one. They're actually calling this medium, but they have small and they have medium. Cut that out. Okay, I had to cut that open to get the brush out, but I'll do a close-up on these. These are interesting. At first, they reminded me of like a dagger striper brush, but as you can see, they are thicker. They're more like a true triangle. I know a lot of toll painting artists use these for decorative painting, and I'll probably use them more for gouache painting than acrylics, but I had to try them. I absolutely had to try them. I thought they were super duper cool, and I love the ruby satin brushes. I use them a lot, so I wanted to pick those up and give them a go. The last thing that I have for brushes is this collection. These are by the brand, these are also by the brand Silver, so the same people that make the ruby satins. This is the Ultra Mini Masters collection. These brushes are really, really, really neat. And they were a gift from my boyfriend. These were probably around $80, so they're not cheap, but they're very unique. And if you work highly detailed in realism, or you like to work small scale, these are a must-have. These are amazing. I've not found anything quite like these before. They are the precision tools or miniature painting tools, but I'm telling you what, for fine details, they're unbeatable. They have a little mini grass comb, and I already tested it. It works. I can't even believe that tiny little brush is a grass comb. You get 2 fans, you get some filberts, a lot of really tiny stripers and rounds and things for little hairs and feathers and fine lines, and they have a little angular shader. Yeah, I love these. I seriously love these. They're incredible. I'm so thankful to have them, and the quality of the brushes, being by the Silver Brush Company, very, very good. So I recommend these 100% if you were interested in some fine detail brushes. I'm going to take a break for the acrylic painting supplies for just one moment. I wanted to show you these. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. These are by Qor. Now when the Qor watercolors first came out by the brand Golden, I had gotten like a sample card or something. I didn't get these exact colors, but it was like the natural colors or something, and I wasn't super impressed by them, especially the burnt sienna seemed gritty to me. I really wasn't so impressed. So this is actually the high chroma set. So in this set, you're going to get quinacridone gold, transparent pyrrole orange, quinacridone magenta, green gold, dioxazine purple, and cobalt teal. I love the quality of the tin, okay? This is a really nice tin. In the beginning, I think they had a hinge on them, I remember, and now they've done it so it just opens up like that, which is much better. Much, much better, I have to say. And the reason I think that's much better is because if I wanted to just have the palette out, you know, it takes up much less space. I haven't even swatched these yet or anything. I'm going to do a review, like a first impressions review probably on these. I've heard some things positive and negative about them. I love the brand Golden. I'm sure you can probably tell by today's haul video and other hauls if you've watched me in the past. I really, really love the brand Golden. And so I thought, yeah, I'd love to try their watercolors. You get a little brochure that has like the full range. In my very humble opinion as an artist, I have to say, I don't think these ever really took off that well. Like, I remember when they first came out, they offered them at like a crazy introductory price, but they never really crept up there, I don't think. I don't see a lot of artists talking about these. I don't know a lot of artists are like, oh yeah, these are my favorite. So I don't know. I thought trying the high chroma set would be the most fun for me. Since I've been an artist in watercolor for a long time, I've got a lot of paints and I really didn't need anything. So a fun set like this I felt like was the safest bet where I could get something that would be enjoyable. They're claiming to use a new revolutionary binder. I'm sure you guys have heard some of the information about these before, but if you haven't, just in case, they're claiming to like reinvent these watercolors. They're calling them modern watercolors. And some of the negatives that I've heard about them though is that they don't re-wet very well, or when they do re-wet, they tend to be more pastel colors. They lose their pigmentation somehow. I don't know. I've heard some positive things, some negative things, but I really don't feel like these ever reached the commercial success of like Daniel Smith or Winsor & Newton or M. Graham, for example. I don't think these ever really took off very well. So in this set, I think I paid maybe around $28, $30, something like that. You get 6 of their, what are these? 5 milliliter tubes. You get 6 of their 5 milliliter tubes. And they have like a paint swatch on there. I'm excited to try these. We're going to do this together in a future video. So like I said, I've got a lot of future content coming to the channel. I'm really shifting gears. I'd like to do more product reviews and first impressions and things like that because I love doing those type of videos. And I know you guys tell me that you love them too. So the quality of the tin is excellent. I really want to say that again because I'll probably keep the tin forever, and I will use these paints right here in this tin because I'm not putting together another watercolor palette for these, but I'm hoping they're good. I have high hopes for these because I love Golden and I'm really interested to try them, so I picked those up. I got another bottle of Liquitex pouring medium. My last haul video, I showed you a big bottle just like this, and I used it all up. I did film it, so I've got a lot of content filmed and ready to be edited and uploaded to the channel. And that video, it turned out kind of funny, so stick around so that you won't miss that one if you want to laugh at me and watch me make a big mess and a lot of mistakes. But I actually loved it. I loved it, so I wanted to pick up another bottle of that, and you'll see the video for that coming pretty soon. Along back with the acrylic painting supplies, I picked up a ton of canvases. And the first one that I'm excited to show you, and there's going to probably be a glare because they're shrink wrapped, so I'm sorry, I'm going to try and minimize it. And look how dark it suddenly gets. But these are the Frederick's Archival Signature Series, the rounds. I picked up a box of 6 12-inch round canvases. I'm really excited about these. Now, one thing that I don't love about them is they're not back stapled. Unlike their other canvases that I've had from them, I love the Frederick's Blue Label line, by the way. These are actually glued on the edges. So they're glued, they're not back staple, but they are archival. They're a little bit thinner too versus another round canvas that I have here, if you can see that. But they're heavier. But this one is back stapled. I picked up a couple of these from Hobby Lobby. I got 2 of the 12-inch and I got 2 of the 16-inch rounds, which are too large to fit into the frame. But I picked those up. I'm excited to use these. These are definitely rougher, more coarse than their Blue Label line, which I love, but they're not too rough. They're definitely not too rough. They're not as rough as, say, like an Artist Loft Level 3. They're a nice medium texture. I'm happy with it. I actually am. I'm surprised they weren't too rough, and I'm gonna love these. So you'll be seeing these in a future video. I also picked up a ton of these. These are by the brand Artist Loft. These came from Michael's. These are ultra smooth. These are relatively new, I believe, to Michael's stores, and I kind of went a little nuts over them, I'm not gonna lie. So I picked up a ton of these. I picked up 7 of these 12 by 16s and 10 of the 16 by 20s. I also picked up one of their oval 11 by 14. So why did I get so many of these? Well, number one, they were on sale really, really good. I think they were buy one, get one free, or buy one, get 2 free. I'm not certain about that. But these are, as the name implies, ultra smooth. If you've ever worked on a Frederick's Blue Label canvas, you might think that's as smooth as it gets. No, these are smoother. They are archival, they're acid free, so they're artist grade. I can use them, I can sell them. I'm happy with them so far. I like the construction of them. And they're 100% cotton. They're excellent quality. Don't overlook these, you guys. These are so super duper 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 smooth. They are significantly smoother than a Frederick's Blue Label. So if you were looking for some canvases for realism that were very smooth and were artist grade and archival and you could sell, check out Michael's, the level 2 ultra smooths. I'm obsessed with these. These are really, really good. So I picked up a ton when they went on sale. All right, so that is mostly everything that I got from this major haul video. The last thing that I did get, and I can't show it on camera because it's entirely too large to put into the frame, but I actually got a brand new easel. I picked it up from Jerry's Artorama. I got the Soho Urban Artist easel in the walnut finish, the H frame. And I put it together and I put it in my art studio, and I actually really like it, but I do have some complaints about it. I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in a review on that easel, but it's very affordable and it's not bad, but it could be more sturdy, and I think the mass on it is a little bit too tall. However, it is a nice space-saving easel. It is really a nice modern, moderate to small-sized easel, and I am happy with it, but I have some things to say about that easel. So if you guys would like a review on it, just let me know and leave that in the comment section down below. Also, let me know what of these things you saw today that you would like to see a video on first. The watercolors, the pastels, the acrylics, what would you like to see first? Because I'm excited about all of it. I'm leaning toward the high chroma set Qor watercolors, but of course, I love these Mount Vision iridescent pastels. I'd really love to talk more about these. So that's it for today. I think that was pretty quick. At least I hope it was pretty quick. I love those round canvases. I know we already moved on, but I want to come back to the round canvases. I think there's something so special about that round shape, and I'm just inspired to create things on them. So I'm really hoping that I'll make some masterpieces on those Frederick's round canvases. And that is it. I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, if you found it entertaining or helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe before you go, because it really helps out my channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!